One of the reasons... Let me start again.
Try again.
Jonathan, Volvo expert, Gregg, RVHauler guy. I take Volvo tractors and I convert them to pull camping trailers. And Jonathan is going to talk about some of the things we can do from the factory to tailor the interior to really make it do what we like it to do, which is be comfortable and quiet. Talk about seats and the interior of these Volvos.
Well, let's start with maybe the coolest feature by going to a commercial truck is the seats themselves. Mm-hmm. We can do leather, we can do heated, there's even air-conditioned options. We can make the seats extremely comfortable.
They
rotate, they've got side lumbars, they've got back lumbars, they've got massaging functions.
It's all legal.
It's all legal. But most importantly, they're an air ride seat. So you can actually fill an airbag below the seat so the seat rides on the air. So when you hit a bump, it actually rides on that air and it makes it probably the most comfortable ride you've ever driven in. That's a really cool feature of these trucks.
Tell another quick story. So one of my customers recently who came to our shop and drove with his RVHauler back to Portland with me, the first day of driving his RVHauler, he drove 13 hours. He wouldn't let me drive. He was having fun. But at the end of the day, Ed, my customer and my friend, said, it's true. These tractors, these Volvos are truly designed to treat the driver and the passenger with kid gloves. That the things that they've done to the interior of these Volvos are amazing. I remember the days of pulling a trailer with my pickup truck, and after 3-4 hours of kind of white knuckling it and getting jostled around quite a bit by that trailer back there, I was done. I was ready for a break. My customer drove 13 hours in the first day, and he felt good. So the seats, I think, as you said, Jonathan, wisely, are really the starting point. And at a minimum, I know Volvo doesn't sell cheap seats. Volvo doesn't sell any junk.
No.
And the seats that we've seen traditionally over the years are the National 2000s. So as Jonathan said, they squeeze and lumbars and heat and
keep you in place. Yep. You can adjust them for almost any body type.
Armrests.
Yep, they keep.
And then, of course, you can talk about maybe the new steering wheel for a second.
Yep. So the steering wheel, and actually ever since 2004, is very adjustable. You can lift it up and down. You can lift it in and out. You can make it comfortable for you in any position. So when you're driving down the road, it's exactly where it needs to be, pointing that airbag safely and giving you clear view of the gauges and the clusters so you can watch your speeds, your RPMs, your temperatures without having to move your head over or under the steering wheel. Moving on to a couple other features of the truck on the interior, we can select different colors for the seats, different colors for the interior, different interior trim packages. We can really customize that interior of the truck to meet the driver's needs, and that's big. And just like your pickup truck, we have a lot of comfort and conveniences. We've got nice sound systems. We've got Bluetooth steering wheel controls. You can adjust all the sound from your steering wheel in a comfortable, safe driving position. It makes for a really comfortable ride. And what you've got to remember is these trucks were designed for commercial professional drivers to drive for 12 hours a day in these for their entire career. So they've got to be comfortable to last that time.
What I love about the Volvo interiors is they're not intimidating. I remember when I bought my first one and I sat down at the seat, it felt like I was sitting in my pickup truck. It really did. It was familiar territory to me. I've sat in many other brands of highway tractors, and it's gauge,
it's overwhelming.
And it's overwhelming. I know that I've had some of my customers, they've sat in it and they've gone, I don't know what all this does. But Volvo has gone to great lengths to really design that space around the driver, minimizing your hand movements as well, like getting everything right at your fingertips. You don't have to reach for stuff. And
being a European company at heart, Volvo has to meet a lot different standards in Europe than they do in America. So in Europe, the professional truck driver is actually something that falls under occupational health and safety and ergonomics. So the dash has to be designed with driver ergonomics in mind. So everything is instinctively where you feel it for. You can never have driven a Volvo before, or even set foot in a Volvo. And you can be taking your first test drive and you'll instinctively reach and turn the stereo knob or the control knob for the heat or the air conditioner. It'll be right where you feel it for. And the reason we don't have all those gauges is when you're driving, in this case, an 80,000 pound load, or with your RV a 25,000 pound load, you don't want to take your eyes off the road for a long period of time. So we've designed a central display that gives you your basic temperatures and the information you need to know, but everything else will just pop up in the information screen when something's out of sync, when it's not in a normal operating temperature or a normal operating standard. You don't need to scan 20 or 30 gauges. You need to keep your eyes where they are. You need to keep your hands in a ergonomically central position, a comfortable position, and just drive safely.
Keep your elbows in too. I'd like to talk about the rear sleeper, if I may, for a little bit. There are actually quite a few options available back there as well that we can tailor. So we have TV screens that we can bring out, the flat panel brackets, and the engineering they've gone through to design this thing for 1 million miles and make sure that this thing still works and comes out and doesn't vibrate and holds onto the TV is very impressive. If you look at a tractor that's probably on a lot, there are things that aren't ordered in that tractor that we think you should order. Yeah. So there are actually some extra cabinetry doors. We can talk to you about sinks that can go in the RV hauler. One of the negatives is if you're going into freezing temperatures, you got to winterize it, but you'd have to be winterizing your trailer to some degree as well. But the sinks, I've got one in my personal RV hauler. I do really like it. We can talk to you about some of the heat options that are in there, the air conditioning that can be done in the rear. Of course, one of the really cool things about the Volvo interiors is the workstation configuration that's available. That's the name they use for the table and benches that's in the back that converts into a bed.
We've got the foldable upper bunks, so you can sleep more than one person or 2 or 3 people in the truck. We've got the control panel where you can control the stereo and the heating from the back of the truck. We can even put inverters in the truck to power all your needs while you're on the road. So we can really tailor that towards what you're doing.
Now, we have some recommendations. Let's talk about inverters for a second. There is... Sorry, Volvo, turn off your ears for a minute. I do not recommend getting the Volvo inverter. And
it's not really meant for the RV lifestyle. For a commercial truck driver, it'll run the microwave, it'll run his laptop, it'll run the basics, but it's not really designed for the way an RV person would use their unit. You need additional charging. You need either a modified sine or a pure sine wave inverter for medical equipment, for higher end electronics. The inverters that you use for an RV are just different designs than what we use in the truck. So we recommend, if possible, putting it in aftermarket from Gregg. He can install that. He can take care of these things for you. And get the one he recommends because it's just going to suit your use better than the commercial one will.
There are things like, a common industry name for it is a Webasto heater. Yeah. It's a diesel-fired DC fan, very quiet heater that will heat the sleeper space. Are you going to go into those really cold temperatures? Some of my customers like to use their Volvo RV hauler as a motorhome unto itself. Let's face it, it sleeps too. It's going to have a microwave, a fridge. We can have heat. I can put in, after it comes from Volvo factory, I can put in an additional air conditioning system that'll run off even a little 1,000-watt generator. It's amazing what this technology will do now. It's called a mini split air conditioner, ultra quiet.
Well, let's face it.
We've got the curtains that go around the front windshield. It really is a mini motorhome, and a lot of my customers will use their Volvo certainly to get their large fifth wheel to home base, and then they'll take their Volvo into some of those smaller campgrounds, maybe for a couple days, where a 30-foot motorhome fits. Well, your RV hauler is 30 feet long when we're done with it.
There's a lot of times, too, where you stay at the Walmart parking lot or whatever you have to stay en route during the night. And if you've got a triple slide, quad slide, 5-slide fifth wheel, they don't really want you putting those slide outs out. And sometimes you need to put them out just to be able to access your bedroom, access your kitchen.
Yep.
It's easier to stay in the truck that night, especially if it's just for a short night, than actually put out all the slides, put down your jacks, and set up the fifth wheel for a night.
That's a good point. I myself, I'm often taking an RV hauler and a fifth wheel coach to some of the rally events around the United States. And I'm traveling, I've been putting in a good day. I've driven 11, 12 hours, and I pulled into the Walmart parking lot, and hey, my truck is already either the cab is already cool or it's already warm.
Yep.
And another thing is, like, I feel incredibly secure in my Volvo. I close the curtains, it's dark, it's really quiet. The insulation that's inside of the sleeper is superb.
Yeah.
And I feel really comfortable. I feel secure. And I've stayed in a lot of Walmart parking lots, and it's amazing how noisy those locations are. What people are doing driving around at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. But they are. I like to use my Volvo as a mini motorhome. I have customers that they're from Alaska, and they've traveled, from Alaska back south every year, Tom and Karen, and they leave their fifth wheel in the United States, in the lower states, and they take just their Volvo back to Alaska, and they stay in it the whole way, along with 2 dogs.
What a nice drive.
Yeah. What else would you want to talk about on the interior? Oh, audio. We
Audio.
talked about stereos.
Yes.
You want to get into that a little bit?
We have satellite radio, we have subwoofers, we have all the things you need, remote controls, steering wheel controls. Talk to us about how you want to use it, and we can try to get you a pretty good sound system in the truck and make it convenient to use.
12 volt outlets. Jonathan really has some great advice on where to locate those, as well. CB radios. Make sure that it's wired, above, not below. It really clutters up the dash.
Yeah, there's a spot designed in the upper area for the CB radio. It fits very well. That's where you want to put it. You want to pre-wire it from the factory. You want to have all the antennas ran. It just makes it more convenient. So when the truck makes its way to you, you slide in the CB and you're done.
There's also some things that I would really recommend you do on the dash. We can talk about that if you're interested, but there's some positions on the dash that are really well suited to the rear view cameras and the monitors that I design. I like to build them right into the dash flush. And if you order the truck incorrectly, sometimes there's some gauges and all kinds of stuff that are sitting right in that place. So there's some cost savings there that, if we're going to put that monitor in place, we're either going to cover up those gauges or switches or take them out, and it's just wasted money. So make sure you talk to Jonathan or myself about getting those placed properly.
And convenience options like being able to order enhanced diagnostics so you can kind of see what's going wrong. Say, for example, a check engine light does come on. You can diagnose a lot of it yourself from inside the truck, and that's where we want to order that enhanced diagnostics. And even as simple as putting a symbol on the dash that when your air filter is trying to get plugged, it'll let you know, because that's a big air filter.
And that's a $12 option.
$12 option.
It doesn't weigh anymore.
No. It's a no-brainer, but you don't think to put it on.
Restriction indicator.
Yep.
Like Jonathan has said before, there's multi-pages. I'll memorize how many pages. 80?
78.
78.
You're getting closer.
Getting closer.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about lights real quick while we're in here?
Sure.
Up till 2016, the standard headlight was a halogen-based typical headlight. And you know what? They were enough, but just barely.
No, they sucked.
They were enough.
The low beam was terrible.
Yeah.
As a standard, I would not let a customer have an RV hauler that had standard factory Volvo headlights. They were that bad. I would replace them or upgrade them to the deep space lighting Xenon upgrade. Go to deepspacelighting.com and take a look at them if you have a little bit older Volvo.
Now, fortunately, we've designed a headlight that can go into the Volvos, an LED headlight, and it can even go into the older Volvos. We just need to reprogram the computer so we can also put that LED headlight design in there, or order the new trucks with an LED headlight.
He's from Volvo. Go to Deep Space Lighting. It's less expensive than buying Volvo LED headlights aftermarket. Buying them with the truck is an awesome deal. I can't beat it. Sorry, Jonathan.
And they're fantastic headlights. The LED ones were designed very, very well. So much so that the fog light and the driving light option, even though we're going to tell you to order it anyways, you almost don't need them now. But still go ahead and order them because light is really nice to have.
We do actually agree on a lot of things. That was just one that I had to give Jonathan a zinger on.
We
This
can't,
is unscripted,
We can't
so
always win.
and we're not going to shoot this again.
No.
Just one
No.
take.
Let's also talk about the fact that we order almost all our Volvos with remote power locks, and they're remote controlled just like your car, so you can lock and unlock them. We order them with power windows. We're ordering them with the fridge. We're ordering them with microwave prep kit. We're ordering them with the shore power kit, so we can put the inverters in easier afterwards.
And that's an important thing to note. You know, we want to, in almost every U.S. state and Canadian province, we want to have these titled as motorhomes. So making sure we put the features inside the sleeper so that they can qualify as motorhomes is important. Now, every state and province is different. Some of them have different requirements, but you know, separate sleeping area, which we have, shore power, refrigerator, microwave,
Bathroom.
porta potty.
Yep.
So getting these things, making sure that they're done right is important.
Yeah. And understanding when you're going through the pages and pages of options, what each option does, what happens if you put one option in and not the other, and how they can sometimes cancel each other out. That's important. Because you could end up with some goofy colors in there that you weren't expecting.
There's, I had a customer order, well, I didn't order it for him, but he ordered it himself, and he ended up with an orange seatbelt.
Yes, the safety seatbelt.
So instead of a black seatbelt, he had an orange one. He didn't like it.
And just going into some of the customization, again, we can't possibly go through all this in one conversation, but if you're a larger fellow, they do make bigger seatbelts now that we can order from the factory, ready to go.
Okay.
I think we covered an awful lot in that segment.
All right. So we're going to share some secrets in the next video. We're going to talk about something that most commercial Volvo folks don't know about, and that is the D11 engine and some pretty cool things about it. So next video, we're going to talk specifically about the D11. Not the 13.
The 11.
The 11.